Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Studio 116, home of none other than the Wealth Warriors. My name is Brent Harding, and I am the founder of the Wealth Commitment and the Wealth Warriors. And on behalf of all of our partners, both business partners, viewers, supporters, we want to say welcome to this morning's broadcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about preparation. It's preparation time, and it's time for us to start getting very real about wealth and what we want to accomplish. I know that this is the month where we're talking about insurance and investments, but something hit me. And I'm like Larry King Live. If it hits you, you might need to change the dialogue because we need to go where the breaking news is at. And the breaking news is this: we are still in the perform stage of real estate. We are in the perform stage. And as I started looking at the way that the prices are going up, and I also started looking at the opportunity, it was apparent to me that we needed to talk about preparation. Right now, we are at the zenith. We are at the height of pricing for property, but we're also at the height of opportunity because there are people that do want to, one, sell their properties. And there are people that also, regrettably, are in a stage of foreclosure. And they said, you know what, I just don't want to go down that road. I'm done. I am ready to rent an apartment. And that's unfortunate. But for you, it's an opportunity. And part of wealth is being prepared and ready for the opportunity. I know some are going to say, hey, Brent, that's taking advantage of somebody. No, taking advantage of someone is when you know that they are in that state of a depravity. They're in that state where they're going to lose everything, and you do not come along. You are the person that comes along and says, you know what? I realize that you're going through the hard times. Here's what I can offer you. And you offer them a way out, and you offer them a fresh start. For example, a property that's selling that has a value of $500,000, and there is a $100,000 mortgage on that piece of property. And that person is just down under. And they've decided that they want to relinquish it. They've done everything possible, and they've decided that they want to relinquish it. Well, what's the right thing to do? You know that you've got equity built up in that property. Can you give that person a fresh start to that apartment? And therefore, they depart, and you've got equity in that property. That's what we're talking about, is doing the right and the fair thing. So how does this fit into our wealth plan? Well, here's the deal. I want to talk about two things today. Talk about the starting of your wealth plan to purchase your home, to have property by the winter of 2016, which is 2015, 2016, so January, February, March, so that by April, at the end of these 12 months, this 12-month journey, you have wealth, you have equity, and equity is a form of wealth. You have progressed. You've gotten things. Not only do you have wealth as far as equity, but you have cash, you have investments. So we're doing the prep right now. So part of the preparation is information. The other part of preparation is action. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about action. I'm going to talk again, two levels. One is the real estate action, and then the other is a way to be positioned for the real estate action. How about that? And that is through ownership and entrepreneurship. So first point, real estate. We're getting ready to start preparing for a real estate club that we're going to be opening up in October of this year. So that is July, August, September, time for you to get prepared. You need to be prepared with a comma check, a comma amount of money. What does that mean? That means that you need to have a minimum of $1,000. So we're looking for between $1,000 and $5,000 that you have set aside, that you are going to be able to work in collaboration with other partners, other individuals who want to purchase real estate. And this is a real estate group. It's going to be headed up by myself, some of the individuals from the Wealth Warriors faculty, and some of our noted wealth warriors who are already participating in real estate, who've taken a number of classes that can bring some education to the table. Now, here's the deal. I want to make sure we're implicitly clear that it is a group, that there is a cost that is going to be associated with it. It's going to be the money that you bring to the table. And it is also going to be the cost for having people come in to speak with us, to be part of this group, and to be able to be in position to take action. We're going to keep it under $500. So it's probably going to be about $495. And that is going to be your segue in so that we have those instructors. We can pay them honorariums so that they can come in and talk to us. We have business partners. We have real estate partners. We have people that are already in the game. And so what we're trying to do is to make things very cost effective. So we're going to have two levels of this. We're going to have a level that's at $495, and that's going to be the starter group. And then we're going to have a level that's at $995, and that is going to be for the group that is already paired up. They are higher in the game, but you are going to be positioned to be in the game of real estate. And that is where a good portion, remember we talked about a good portion of where wealth is at? Well, I'll tell you what, we've got some things to do, but preparation, I want you to mark your calendar for October. Why October? Sorry about that. Why October? Well, we know that we're going to be heading into the winter time. And winter is actually a pretty good time to start looking at real estate. Why? Because it's cold. Nobody wants to look. That's when people are willing to negotiate better. Why? Because they want to get things off the books, and they know that people are going to be less likely to purchase during the winter time. So that is your time. So we're talking about looking at property in December when we've got to be sledging through the snow. Yeah, we're going to sledge through the snow. But remember this, the early bird gets the worm. So our time is December, January, February, possibly March, but especially those 3 months. And it's going to be in winter locations. It's going to be in areas where that real estate does have value. Now, we're also going to check out some areas where it is not the most pristine location. However, we are going to do the research to recognize the fact that it's a solid deal. Some of us will be doing research. Some of us will actually physically go to those locations because, see, we're a group. Every person is going to have an assignment and they're going to bring that back to the group. See, there's no need for all of us to do the research. If some of us assign to do that research, then what that does is it allows us to be much more effective. The time value of money. So some will do research, some will actually visit the sites. Have you been to the Registry of Deeds? Do you know how to research property so that you can make the most out of that? See, this is different from the conventional going out and purchasing. We are a group of investors. We are startup investors, not wannabe, we're startup. Where does startup begin? It begins with $1,000 to $3,000. Not $999.99. That's not $1,000. It is a minimum of that. And then we're going to OPM. We're going to use each other's money to bring together a group that can purchase property. We're going to be purchasing multifamily properties. Some of us are going to stay in the transaction. We're going to stay in the deal. Others of us are going to get bought out after a certain period of time. And then we're going to use that cash and move to the next transaction. But we're going to have a startup group. It's going to be based in Boston. Why? Because that's where I live at. So it's going to be based here. But that does not mean that you are not able to live in Texas or California or across the pond in Europe, across the pond in Africa or in Trinidad, wherever you're located at, we are going to meet by Google Hangout. We're going to meet by Skype. We're going to meet by whatever means necessary. The model is going to begin here. Why? So that we've got the evidence. We are the manifestation of the evidence that it works. And we're going to do what Trudy talked about when she said, we're going to stop buying those multifamily pieces of property. Why? Because we want investment property. We want to put maybe some of those individuals that lost their property, they may be the very tenants that are in our properties. We are going to be a wealth warrior real estate investment group. And again, the mission hasn't changed. 100,000. You know, sometimes we need the model. We need a smaller group that is the evidence. Then we can replicate. Because once we've learned to do it once, it's just about being better at it. So we are starting effective October, a real estate investment group. It's going to be the Wealth Warriors Real Estate Investment Group. We're going to start with a small cadre of individuals that are ready to move. In fact, we had a situation yesterday where we were putting together a group for another activity. And what we did was we had to start with the people that were ready to go. And we said they're the first, we'll have another group second, and we'll have another group third. But we were on a destination, and the destination said we need to be ready by September. So if everything isn't in order, then let's start with the model group and then build from there. That is how we create progress. That is how we make things happen. Am I excited? I am euphoric because it's happening. I've sat down with individuals like Tony Corbett. I've sat down with individuals like Alina Lopez Thomas. I've sat down with some of the members of our business group, and we have said we want to do this. We want to make it happen. And so we are taking the action now, not later, now. The time value of money begins today. And part of that preparation is we need to be poised. We need to be poised. So, two parts to this. I said one is about the real estate. So, here's what I need for you to do in preparation. One, you need to set aside the money for your business. Now, I am saying to you, do not pull it out of retirement. You've got time right now to salt away $1 to $3 grand. That's what we're talking about it taking. We want to be familiar with a comma check. If you do not have it, then we've got part 2 of this conversation today to help you to get there. Second, you need to pull your credit report. We talked about credit in May. You need to pull your credit report. You need to see what it looks like. And if it is not in pristine condition, then you need to contact me. Why? Because we need to put you in contact with the person that can handle that for you, that can help you pull that together, because you are going to need that credit cleaned up so that we can move on that. You're going to need the balances on your credit cards to come down. We want you to have no more than 60% of that line of credit card outstanding, preferably 50%. So I said today I wanted to talk real because we need to get real. I thought about these 12 months and I'm excited about the 12 months, but somewhere in every month, we're going to have a conversation about getting real. Why? Because we want you ready to prepare. We want you prepared in buying real estate. We want the graduates of the Wealth Warriors first class to occur in April. We want to be announcing that we've got property sales, that there's money in the bank, that we own businesses, those that we're investing. See, that we have attorneys that will help us with the investment. These are the things that have to happen now. I am wanting for all of our success, all of us. And what is incredible is we have the power to make that happen. We have it. We need to utilize it because it's not just for us. It's for our next generations, for our children's children. So notice I said our children's children. So real estate, start looking in the areas in your community where you are seeing property. You're seeing what I call piano teeth. So what does that mean? That means you go up a street and houses look good, but there's a couple of houses and you're saying, what's happened to those houses? What's going on with those houses? I want you to start doing your own preliminary research. Start looking at locations. Now, please understand this when I say this. Start looking at locations where you see mail being built up. Do not go upstairs onto their porch and look at the mail. No, we don't need to do that. We've got other ways of finding out who owns that property. But I want you to start getting prepared. So again, what have I said? I've said money. Start getting your money, salting away the money. Obviously, the more, the better. We'd like to see you have $10,000, but we at least have to have between $1,000 and $3,000. That's one. Second, you're pulling that credit report. We're going to put you in contact with 2 individuals in our Wealth Warrior faculty who specialize in that, who help you clean up your credit. Yes, it is going to cost you some money to get yourself in order. So we want to make sure that you're getting in order for this. Next, I want you to start looking at neighborhoods. Start going around and noticing locations. Notice addresses. Start writing those addresses down where you see it appears that it's vacant. It doesn't have a for sale sign on it. Mail has built up on the porch. The bushes aren't looking pristine as they should. Now, we're not alerting the media. We're not going out and we're not checking around to talk to neighbors, to find out if the house is available. No, we're not doing that. In this case, we want to be undercover. That's right. We want to keep this information. We're going to bring it back to the group. But right now, we're learning the skill, the tactic. I want you to go down to the registry of deeds. Get familiar. Start looking around. Get a feel for your local registry of deeds. Now, some people will say, Brent, I can go up online and I can look. Yeah, you can. But here's the deal. You want to start to know people in the registry that actually do the work. Some of them will show you how to do the work, how to get prepared for the destination. What's your destination? Your destination is to own real estate. Ultimately, I'd like to see each and every one of you own at least two multifamily properties before you decide that you want to purchase a single family piece of property in which you want to live in. I work in numbers of 3 and 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Not 35, 3 and 5, okay? So somewhere between 3 and 5 pieces of property is manageable by you. Not a property management company, although there are property management companies out there. There are people that specialize in that. I want to give a shout out to David Jones, who is one of those individuals. And they manage it for a percentage. But before you have somebody else go and manage your property, know how to do those things yourself so that you know how to negotiate on that property management. Maybe you want to be the person that hires the electrician. You want to be able to set the tone so that you know how much it's going to cost, because oftentimes you have a base rate with your property management company. And then when they are doing activity, for example, when they have to hire the electrician, the plumber, and the like, there's generally a service fee that's attached to that. Well, you need to know whether or not you are willing to pay that service fee. You might want to get a cadre of your own, people that you point to that handle that business. But somewhere between 3 and 5 pieces of property, when you get to that 5th property, then you start looking and going, okay, it may make more sense for me to actually have another person that handles that. You want to get your family prepared for the venture that you're about to engage in. Why? Well, for one thing, you're salting away that money. And there may be things that You have to sacrifice in order to make that happen. Maybe we're not going to go to the movies as often. Maybe we're going to drink McDonald's coffee, which, by the way, is pretty good, instead of Starbucks. Nothing wrong with Starbucks, but maybe you need to pare down on your pricing so that those monies can be set aside. You know, all that change that you jingle up in your pocket, throw that in the drawer. Do you know that I actually wrapped all my money and had $700 worth of change that I had accumulated over 2 years of just throwing money in the drawer? Going towards $1,000 for a certainty, for sure. And then get books. Get the Real Estate for Dummies book. Get that, grab that kind of book so that you get familiar with terms, you get familiar with language. That is powerful. That is something that you want to do. You know, we need to become learners. We need to become readers. It doesn't in what we're going to do here at Wealth Warriors is we're going to keep you on the straight and narrow. We're going to show you how to avoid the landmines. What are the landmines? The landmines are going to this class and this class and buying everything. Buying this book, buying this book, buying this book. You know, I'm reading a pretty powerful book here. In fact, one of my business partners actually put it up on Facebook today. I'm reading this book called Building the Empire. Now, that has to do with another element of our activity, but here's the point that I'm driving at. I'm driving at the fact that you and I need to be able to read and we need to be able to learn. And this is the destination. Now we're going to speed up the process. We've spent the past few months, April, May, and this month, in kind of slow motion, getting ourselves ready. Now it is chugga, 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 because we have only 9 months to get you to where you need to be, to get you to the graduating class, to the first year graduating class. And then you will advance to the next phase and we'll have a new graduating class coming in. So I'm going to reiterate something that I just said, and that is this. We're preparing for the real estate. We are going to have two groups that are going to begin in October. One is going to be the startup group, and then we're going to have a group that is engaged. The startup group is going to be $495. The engaged group will be $995. What's the difference? The difference is that first group has revenue that's anywhere between, or that has savings that's anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000. The next group is going to have $5,000 to $10,000. So that's going to delineate the money that you have set aside right now, and then the money that you can invest each month into your ventures. Because you're going to have a couple of ventures going on. And I want you to get prepared for that. You might have your daytime gig, your working gig. So that's going to be what you have. You are then going to have your real estate gig. You are going to have your entrepreneurial gig. So you're going to have all of those, and you are going to need to be about the business of understanding how we leverage ourselves. So we're going to have a small group of individuals that's going to become the model group for how we make this happen. And then we're going to reach back and we're going to grab one and we're going to bring that person up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to reach back and we're going to bring each group up. That's the only way that we're going to impact and have 100,000 families, 100,000 families engaged in wealth, not only here, but around the world. And you know what's going to be beautiful is you are going to be the ambassadors that are going to go to those locations and help them. And you know why? Because you will have the money, the resources to make that happen. Do you believe? Remember in the Matrix, do you believe? Because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take belief. It's going to take the things that we used to look at and go, oh, please. Things like our storyboards. We're going to take our vision boards. We're going to create that vision. That's why we're in movement and action. We're going to start going back and looking at some of those books that we thought were pure and unadulterated heresy. You know why they were? Because oftentimes, just as in business, people say, well, it didn't work for me. No, you're right. Because we have to work for it. Yes, we have to work for it. If it were that easy, everybody would be doing it. And guess what? We'd be on to the next thing. That's right, because it is work. It is WORK. And I haven't come up with an acronym yet for it, but if you have, by all means, put it on our Facebook, put it on the elusive, exclusive Wealth Warrior Facebook page. Now, we haven't I was so engaged in what we wanted to talk about that I neglected to say it is time for us to go up to our exclusive Elusive Wealth Warrior page and make sure you have signed in. Make sure if you've gotten a nugget right now, in fact, I know you have, I want you to hashtag I am getting prepared. Hashtag I am getting prepared. That's right. Hashtag I am getting prepared, because that's what we're doing. You know, you probably saw the statement, poor people talk about it. Wealthy people plan for it. Now, poor doesn't always mean that you have no cash, the universal symbol for cash. Poor it doesn't mean that. Poor means up here. Poor means our belief system. Those things, poor means our state of mind. Poor means I'm accepting a job and that's all I want and I'm all set. No, you're not. Because I'll tell you what, if you've got 5 bills coming in and you've got one way of paying those, you are not all set. You are on a treadmill. I know I'm sounding like I'm preaching today, but I am, because I am moving us to take action. It is our time. We have the power. 2016 is your year. 2015 is preparation, engagement, action. Not activity, action. See, that's a different word. That means you are going to the registry. You are getting familiar with the registry. That means that if you live in the Boston area, you are going to 1010 Mass Avenue and you are watching the happenings. You're looking for the contractors that are there that you may engage and do business with in the future. You're looking at where the licensing permits are being sought after. Yes, and for whatever city you are in, wherever the licensing, wherever the permits, wherever the land is being discussed, wherever those things are occurring, that's the location that you want to be intimately familiar with. You want to be intimately familiar with the tax assessor's office. You want to be intimately familiar with the land assessor's office. You want to know where those are for the cities and the towns that you live in and the cities and the towns that you're thinking about purchasing property in. You know, Chicago ain't a bad place to be purchasing because there are still deals there and they are on their way up. They've already done the bankruptcy. So they already opened up the trap door, fell in, and now they're back. So that's an opportunity. See, that's wealthy people look for those. They look for, they're forecasting out. They're looking at the 1, the 3, the 5, the 10 years. That's what they're looking at. Remember, you are creating this for you in the present and for your future generations, so that what hangs up on that wall is a picture of you having started the family quest, you having brought the wealth warriors, the wealth commitment into your home and into your household. Real estate, preparation. This is one in which you want to go get the Real Estate for Dummies book. It's a good place to start. And then we progress from there. There are classes that you'll be able to attend. Right now, between now and October, go to some of those classes for a certainty. Pick up information, get knowledge. Do not spend very much money on them, because you need to be saving that money. Yes, will we have classes? We will have classes in October. We will have boot camps that you'll be able to engage in. And you will be with people that have been to a lot of those classes. So they will be bringing information to the forefront so we can catapult ourselves, because we want trajectory. You know, there is something called personal development. Personal development is linear. We want transformation. Are we good with that? Excellent. In fact, I want somebody to hashtag transformation. That's what we want. Transformation. That's real estate. So is everybody clear with where we're going to go with this? Because out of real estate, I want you to think about what comes out of that for you and your family. Comes good pricing because we're only going to buy property at good prices. It begets us equity. Equity is the passive income that comes in as a result of owning that property. It allows us to leverage what we have. We can leverage that, but we've got to be smart when we are leveraging that. That's what comes out of real estate. Real estate allows us to leverage that property to garner more cash, to garner more credit, so that we can go to the next destination. So that is part one of our discussion today. You've got your marching orders. And once a month, we're going to do keeping it real so that we know that everybody has taken action. Here's part two. Suppose you do not have that $1,000. Suppose you do not have the $5,000 because you want to be in group two. You want to hang with the big boys. Suppose you don't have that. Then I'm going to submit to you that we need to invest in a second source. You remember what Warren Buffett speaks about, the billionaire Warren Buffett? He says that we cannot depend on one source of income. That's our job. We cannot depend on just one. Do you realize that the average person, the average youngster, hear me saying youngster, I can't believe I'm saying this, that the average young person today will literally work 20 jobs within their 40 years, their 40-year career history of employment, unless they create a paradigm shift. Right now, 1.9 years, every 1.9 years, somebody is going to change their job. Gone, long, long gone are the days that you and I used to know about or hear about, that our parents worked at a job for 30 years and they retired, 40 years and they retired. Even in our state and federal government, things have metamorphosed. They have changed. So we need another source of income. And I got to tell you something, I'm getting passionate right now. I'm getting seriously passionate right now. What is the most expedient investment that we can make? Now, notice that Warren Buffett said investment. He didn't say go out and get a second job. No, that is not an investment, ladies and gentlemen. That is not, I'm going to invest in a second job. No, you're not. That is a second job. See, one of the things about investment is that not only are you working it, not only are you investing in it, but you are surrounded by like-minded individuals that are investing in it as well. So here's the deal. What we are talking about is understanding money leveraging. That's what we're talking about, understanding money leveraging. There is a book that I'm going to put up right now, and it is My First $10 Million, Making My First $10 Million. It's by Brian Carruthers. Why do I like this mini book that is only X amount of pages? It's a small book, but it's it is one of the most powerful reads that you will have. If this is something that you want, then I want to make sure that you get it. You can text me at 617-438-7949. Again, that's 617-438-7949 and say, I want the book. Now, what's it going to cost you? It's going to cost you $7. But you know what? I'm going to do better. I'm going to give you a discount. I'm going to let you get that book for $5. $5. That's right. $5 for a book that is not only is it a conversation, it speaks volumes to the heart. This person's already gotten his $10 million. He's buying property. He's investing in other things. And guess what? ¿Tú hablas en español? Mira, I have it there too. So I have it in both forms. That's right. So why? Because I want to reach out to you and say, this is going to be an evident demonstration of your level of moving yourself to wealth. It's almost as if I'm saying, I'm here, I'm serving as the coach. And by the way, there's a coach above me too. So I'm serving as your coach. And part of that coaching is that you get tools. And so we've got these tools right here just for you. Now, here's the deal. I've already bought them. I've bought hundreds of them so that I can have them ready for you. 617-438-7949 to get that tool, because you're going to need to understand how you're going to leverage. So, what am I saying here? I am saying right now that if you do not have a second source of income that's creating active and passive revenue for you, then it is time for you to dig in and find a source. Now, you do not have to do what I'm doing, but you've got to do something, whatever it is. Now, you know that I am phenomenally passionate about network marketing. And I'll tell you why I'm phenomenally passionate. There was a supplement that came out in the Wall Street Journal, and I'm putting that up for you to see. Came out in the Wall Street Journal, and it says here, it's the ultimate social business model. Why now is the prime time for direct selling? Now, it said that in 2010, direct selling companies generated over $125 billion in revenue in 150 countries throughout, and it says through more than 75 million men and women who are changing lives serving others. And it talks about, it says, this is a story of direct sales, direct selling. It says from March of 2009 to May of 2011, the top 7 publicly traded direct selling companies averaged a 268% increase in stock price. This is powerful. Inside of inside of this booklet, this insert, this supplement, is the listing of 100 top direct sales companies in the world. So let me put that back up for you one more time, because you are going to want to get a hold of this. This was in the Wall Street Journal. Now, why do I bring this out? I bring this out because right now, I'm encouraging you to make that investment of $500 or less in a direct sales company, in a network marketing company. Whatever it is you like, there are plenty of them out there. As you know, my passion is vacation travel, but there's vacation travel. There are direct sales companies. There are a cadre of them, and I would be more than glad to give you the ones that I think are the most powerful. You know what? Not only is there vacation, but there are others that I think are pretty powerful that you may want to invest in, and you want to build. In fact, you remember what I showed you in the beginning? This gentleman, I happen to be pretty passionate about him right now. I had an opportunity to attend a boot camp that he held at a very cost-effective rate, because he said, you know what, I want to be affordable, and I want to make sure people can get the information that they are looking for. And so he gave a phenomenal boot camp for us that was pretty daggone powerful. And I've got to tell you, it was absolutely worth everything that it took for me to get down there to Washington to be a part of that event. Now, here's the thing that he said, and he talked about the ingredients for success, and I want to share those with you, because right now we're talking, in order for you to have the wealth, there is success that is needed for that. And he says there are 3 ingredients to succeed in the pursuit of wealth. He says the first thing is you got to have a burning desire. You must be driven by a white heat burning desire to accomplish your goals and succeed. White heat burning desire. Next, you've got to be coachable. You must be willing to truly listen to masters and follow their guidance with focus. Certainly, I'm not the only one. You're going to meet others. You've met some already, but you're going to meet more. And so we've got to be coachable. I'm listening to somebody coach me. You know, the funniest thing about coaching is sometimes we don't always agree. And sometimes I've got to bite the bullet, and I've got to say, you know what? I respectfully disagree, but we can agree to disagree. But they've got what you want. So we need to listen. And then the third, be willing to work. We must be willing to do the work, even when we don't feel like it. We've got to be willing to do the work that it takes. Because I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it takes work. It takes work. And in fact, we also work. We need to know where the supportive information is. You've heard me mention this previously, an article from Forbes magazine, and it speaks to the fact that you want to join, you want to launch, you want to be a part of a multi-level marketing company, part of a network marketing company, whichever one you choose, whichever one speaks to you, whichever one is one that delivers product that or services that someone else will purchase. You've heard me speak about this, and in the article, he talks about the fact that I like something. He says that as far as the savings crisis is concerned, more and more people are coming to terms with the fact that they probably aren't going to be able to save enough money to just sit around and slowly deplete their nest egg. They're not going to be able to do that. That's why we are prepared and starting now, so that we do not have to live that kind of lifestyle. He says, moving beyond just the dollars and cents, people, boomers as well as young people, they're growing tired and feeling guilty about the fact that they didn't have the saving habits that they had in the past. And so now they need to make a shift. The article says that another growing reality that could benefit MLM and related businesses is the increasing number of people that are disenchanted and they want more. And so as a result of them wanting more, guess what's happening? They are looking for opportunities, and they're looking for you to come along and bring that opportunity to them. And this article was dated, it's from last year. It's called, Would You Join a Multi-Level Marketing Company for Retirement Income? Well, guess what? Robert Lara, not only is it for retirement, it is so that you can have a lifestyle right now. That's what we're talking about. It says that MLM and direct selling programs also offer very low barriers to entrepreneurship. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about owning our own business, entrepreneurship. And it goes on to say, and they often provide a training, support, and ample encouragement along the way. And so that's what makes this an incredible way to do business, because you're not there by yourself. You're working for yourself, but you're not by yourself. So what are some of the top industries that you would want to consider when we're talking about network marketing? We're talking about multi-level marketing. We're talking about direct sales. This is an article. Oh, by the way, just so that we know, the article is from Forbes magazine. This is from August of 2014, so it's not an old one. And so you can actually go to www.forbes.com/sites/Robert Lara, ROBERTLAURA, Robert Lara. So I want to make sure that you have that one. Now, what are some of the top hottest industries to start a business in? This article is from Black Enterprise, and we've quoted this before, but they've got 5. The first one that they're talking about is social network game development, vintage goods and online shoe sales, travel agencies. Obviously, I was happy about that one. Translation services, and IT security consulting. I have to tell you, among all of those, no doubt the most cost-effective is going to be in the field of network marketing. And the reason for that is because generally it runs anywhere from $40 to $500. That's on average, it's going to be about $150 to get that open. Here are some of the things that have deterred people away from utilizing that, yet you have so much documentation that says that it is the right environment. And that is because of leadership, the people that we actually are sponsored by, they can make they can make a monumental difference in our career. You're looking for people that have good leadership skills. Obviously, let me go back one and say you're looking for the right company. You're looking for the right environment that you can be passionate about, that you can enjoy, or you don't even have to be passionate and enjoy it. However, it is something that a person wants and needs. They will pay for it. So, whichever the case may be, whether it's totally about your passion or somebody will pay for that service, whatever the case may be, that's where you want to be. And once you've determined that that is the right company, once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is you want to look at the leadership of that company. Is that company going to be around? Because guess what? You're hanging one of your stars on that. You're not hanging all of your stars, but you're hanging one of your stars, your investment stars, on that particular company. So your job is one source of revenue. Now we're going to the next cost center, and that cost center is going to be about ownership. During the month of July, we're going to focus in on entrepreneurship. So we're getting a head start right now. We've got some wonderful people that are going to be on board that are going to be talking to us about entrepreneurship. And so with that being said, we want to make sure that you are very clear about ownership, that it is a necessity. If you stop and you think about it, you've got people that own, that are at the forefront. Those are everybody that has created that kind of wealth owns something. They own the property. They own the business. They have passive income coming in. That's income that's coming in whether they are focused in on that or not. Residual income. Create the residual income. That's you do something one time and money comes in over and over and over again. We are familiar with Elvis Presley. We are familiar with Michael Jackson. Those gentlemen will live on into eternity, so to speak. Why? They live on beyond their years because of their music. Their music creates royalties for their families. This business, the network marketing, will create royalties in the form of residuals for your family. So let me handle some objections right now. One of the first objections that I hear is, Brent, that is a pyramid. I'll tell you, read this book. Brian delved into that. He killed that one. He knocked it out of the park. The reason why, I want you to think about this. You're familiar with a real estate brokering office. We've been talking about real estate brokering office, mortgage brokering office, financial services. The person that took the risk deserves the reward. Would you not agree? So the real estate broker that invested time, money, opened up the office, pays for the overhead, that person then hires, and I'm going to use my hand here, that person hires salesperson 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's the real estate broker right there. That real estate brokering office is going to get a percentage. They're going to get a percentage of whatever that transaction that salesperson does. That salesperson sells a piece of property. They're going to get a percentage. Yes? And they're going to get a percentage from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let me ask you something. Who's going to be wealthier in this transaction? Is it going to be the owner or is it going to be the salesperson? Likely it's going to be the salesperson. But you know what's interesting? We never say that a real estate brokering office is that they're a pyramid, do we? No. Guess what? I owned a mortgage brokering firm for 10 years. I owned it. The blood, sweat, and tears. I paid for the examinations. I paid for the office. I bought the building. Do I not deserve the lion's share of the reward? I certainly do. So when I hired originator 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, when I hired them, they get a percentage, but I get the bigger percentage because I was the one that was willing to do all the work. Do I deserve to do I deserve to be brought before the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission? Am I a pyramid? Absolutely not. Financial services, same thing. The financial services firm, Charles Schwab, whoever it is, they've got people that work for them. They've got the brokers that work for them. Do they deserve to have the lion's share of the money because they put up the risk? You bet they do. So if in fact you feel that any of those ones, if you feel that they're a pyramid, then they're all pyramids. We should take them all to the Securities and Exchange Commission. But they're not. It's the same thing here when it comes to network marketing. The only difference between me and you is that I got here first and I then went to work. So here I am. I spoke to you, I spoke to you, I spoke to you, I spoke to you, I spoke to you. I spoke to my colleagues, I spoke to business owners, I spoke to some of my friends that were business savvy, I spoke to people that were organized, I spoke to people that knew a lot of people. I spoke to them and I said, there's an opportunity on the table. I'm going to show you how we can take $69.95 a month and turn that into $1,000 or more every single month. You will do something one time and get paid over and over and over again. Is that a good deal? You bet it is. That's what network marketing is about. It's about sharing the opportunity and it's about seizing the opportunity. It's about building a business group, a group of like-minded people that are looking for the same thing. And that's what the Wealth Warriors is about. So I'm going to submit to you that one of the most powerful ways for you, if you do not have that money now, to garner that money is to find a network marketing and opportunity that meets your need, that works the way you'd like it to work, that has what you're looking for. And you are certainly welcome to text me at area code 617-438-7949, and I will suggest some. I'm going to ask you some questions about the things that you like to do, the things that you want to do, and I will suggest some to you. One of the next things that a person says is, Brent, I don't have the time. Yes, you do. 5 hours a week. That's all you need. What? 5 hours a week. I'm going to show you how you can be powerful in 5 hours a week. Text me. I will show you how 5 hours a week can produce revenue for you. In fact, hashtag 5 hours a week. Hashtag 5 hours a week, because that's all that I am going to ask of you to create your empire. You know, Jim Rohn used to say that, he says, I work my job so that I have a story to tell you about how I am creating my fortune. He says, I work a full-time job so that I can create my part-time empire, my full-time job so I can create my part-time empire, my fortune. Isn't that amazing? He said he worked that. He worked that until finally he just could not do it anymore. His empire, his fortune was just taken over and it just wasn't working anymore. Wouldn't you like to be able to do that? Wouldn't you like to be able to work this full-time gig, have an empire growing for you? That's what we're talking about. So time, Then people say, oh, Brent, who do I talk to? Well, my goodness, we have more social media out there than ever before. We have events to go to. We have social activity to go to. There is an organization called Meetup. Go meet up with people. Share your opportunity with them. Share what you are doing, and then compel them to take a look at it. Oh, Brent, I'm not a salesperson. Neither am I. If you told me that I was selling, I would drop everything. Business owner. That's what you are. When you open up the doors to your business, you move to business owner. What you're doing is sharing the opportunity. You are inviting them into your business group because you are on a mission to create an empire. That's what you are. So you've got everything. If you do not know somebody, I will tell you what, take the cell phone, start going through the cell phone, because I'll bet you know at least a couple of hundred people on your cell phone that you can ask them, do they know somebody? It may not be you, but who do you know? That's what I want to know. Who do you know? And I'm asking you that because I realize it's not you, but somebody out there is looking for an opportunity. Our young people are looking for an opportunity. And you know what the beauty of ownership is? Taxes. You can reduce your tax base. That's right, reduce your tax base when you own. Why does the federal government keep small businesses at the top of the mind? Because they know that we employ, that we partner the world over. And in the United States, small business is big business. Small business is big business. They're not taking away from us, they're adding to us. They want us to be in the business of being in business. Small businesses employ people. Small business create opportunity. Small business creates residual income. Oh, you bet they want us to be in business. And so seize that. I always say, well, not always, but oftentimes say that Mitt Romney, what did Mitt Romney do for us? Mitt Romney gave us a wake-up call when he said, when we realized Mitt Romney, and also, oh, I'm losing my train of thought with him, but that's okay. I'm going to deal with Mitt right now and say I wasn't upset with him because he's paying 14% tax. I was upset because I didn't know how he was doing it. That was upsetting. And part of that is the fact that you own your own business. That's right. And we're going to, down the line, we're going to talk about trust and how you can put money into trust and keep that money. We're going to talk about how those work. But our first steps right now, the focus of our first steps is real estate ownership, entrepreneurship. Whether you have the 1,000 to 3,000 or 5,000 to 10,000 in your account right now, you need to own a business. That gives you another that gives you another tax break. So now you're filing a Schedule C because your business is on the Schedule C. You're filing a Schedule E because your real estate is on Schedule E. Those are benefits for you. That actually puts money back in your pocket. We're also going to talk about how to get creative with your exemptions to give you more money that you can utilize right now and offset that with your investment. Woo! It has been a powerful power hour with us talking about it's preparation time. Let's get real about our wealth. It has been my pleasure, my honor, my joy to be with you today. This is the last class for the month of June. We are on to the next destination. Next month is totally dedicated to entrepreneurship, finding the right business that you can invest in. If you haven't invested in it now, which business do you want to invest in so that you are ready come October, so that you have the money to participate in October? That's our destination. That's our destination. Again, my name is Brent Harding. I am the founder of the Wealth Warriors and the Wealth Commitment. We are totally committed to causing 100,000 people to move from where they are into wealth. We are likely the first generation. So we like to say, hashtag, I am a first generation wealth baby. And with that being said, we will see you next week. Yes, I know what date it is, but guess what? We don't stop because we want to see you create wealth and live your life on the beaches of the world. It has been my pleasure to be with you this morning. Take care. And as in the words of Trevor Otts, go out and be amazing.